The freedom to work with incomplete information. That's what calculating the cost of new products is all about. The freedom to just not know yet what the best manufacturing plants are and which suppliers and countries to source from. The freedom to adjust prices, routings, or rates as they become clear throughout the design and manufacturing engineering process. The freedom to use data from whatever source. SAP Product Lifecycle Costing gives you all this freedom, and yet enables a quick, preliminary cost estimate for the entire product that is as fact-based, precise, and reliable as can be at an early stage. A costing that automatically materializes as the product development process progresses, and that keeps all collaborating parties on the same page all along. SAP Product Lifecycle Costing enables you to accurately calculate and track costs of product designs against a given targeted cost with bottom-up cost calculation. But the freedom does not end here. You can easily calculate lifecycle costs of products to be incorporated in your OEM's next-generation car model several years prior to production start, and forecast the expected cost savings and profitability for the full product lifecycle over the years. As an OEM, you can group product variants into projects, like car models or platforms, to simulate sales quantities and their impact on cost, revenue, and margin. Or use reference calculations to modularize and reuse cost estimates so that different teams are free to work independently on modules that are used in different end product calculations. Feel free to adapt and extend the solution to your specific needs, like creating custom fields, attributes, or formulas for calculation versions on a line item level as well as for master data. You can also integrate other solutions in the side panel, like SAP Jam for collaboration between teams, or SAP 3D Visual Enterprise for displaying products or components selected in the costing structure. At any time, you can analyze and compare the options to make the most favorable product costing decisions. Embedded analytics and reporting allow real-time insights into your cost structure. Use costing sheets to define how overheads are determined, or component splits to identify cost drivers by analyzing the breakdown of costs for each item. And there's more. Integrate business intelligence tools like SAP Business Objects Analysis for Microsoft Office for operational cost analysis per cost component and material in real time. How is your revenue or profit margin made up? With SAP Business Objects Cloud, you get real-time business intelligence for management reporting or ad hoc analyses during board meetings. But the freedom does not end here. Choose to deploy SAP Product Lifecycle Costing on-premise or as a service in the SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud. The possibilities in cost calculation are limitless with SAP Product Lifecycle Costing. The freedom to work with incomplete information. That's what calculating the cost of new products is all about. The freedom to just not know yet what the best manufacturing plants are and which suppliers and countries to source from. The freedom to adjust prices, routings, or rates as they become clear throughout the design and manufacturing engineering process. The freedom to use data from whatever source. SAP Product Lifecycle Costing gives you all this freedom, and yet enables a quick, preliminary cost estimate for the entire product that is as fact-based, precise, and reliable as can be at an early stage. A costing that automatically materializes as the product development process progresses, and that keeps all collaborating parties on the same page all along. SAP Product Lifecycle Costing enables you to accurately calculate and track costs of product designs against a given targeted cost with bottom-up cost calculation. But the freedom does not end here. You can easily calculate lifecycle costs of products to be incorporated in your OEM's next-generation car model several years prior to production start, and forecast the expected cost savings and profitability for the full product lifecycle over the years. As an OEM, you can group product variants into projects, like car models or platforms, to simulate sales quantities and their impact on cost, revenue, and margin. Or use reference calculations to modularize and reuse cost estimates so that different teams are free to work independently on modules that are used in different end product calculations. Feel free to adapt and extend the solution to your specific needs, like creating custom fields, attributes, or formulas for calculation versions on a line item level as well as for master data. You can also integrate other solutions in the side panel, like SAP Jam for collaboration between teams, or SAP 3D Visual Enterprise for displaying products or components selected in the costing structure. At any time, you can analyze and compare the options to make the most favorable product costing decisions. Embedded analytics and reporting allow real-time insights into your cost structure. Use costing sheets to define how overheads are determined, or component splits to identify cost drivers by analyzing the breakdown of costs for each item. And there's more. Integrate business intelligence tools like SAP Business Objects Analysis for Microsoft Office for operational cost analysis per cost component and material in real time. How is your revenue or profit margin made up? With SAP Business Objects Cloud, you get real-time business intelligence for management reporting or ad hoc analyses during board meetings. But the freedom does not end here. Choose to deploy SAP Product Lifecycle Costing on-premise or as a service in the SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud. The possibilities in cost calculation are limitless with SAP Product Lifecycle Costing.
So we shall move ahead. So trainer introduction about myself. As I told you, my name is Lavanya. I have about 10 years of experience on SAP FICO. That is my relevant experience, and my total experience is 15 years. So prior to working as a SAP R3 consultant, I have been working as SAP B1 consultant. Okay. So somebody is asking me something. Okay, fine. Yeah. Now, coming to the next slide. So our agenda would be, so we would be discussing what what we are going to cover in this course: introduction to ERP and SAP, basics of SAP, what are the modules that we are covering, and what is that we are going to help for SAP FICO certification, and some other information as well. So about SAP FICO course, what are the course objectives, prerequisites, and who are supposed to take up this course, and advantages and training benefits. So course objectives. So if you see this, so after completion of this course, the trainees will be able to learn the basic concepts and fundamentals of finance and controlling modules. Okay, as you already know, FICO means financial accounting and controlling. Okay. So learn general ledger, accounts payable. See, all these are the sub-modules. Okay. So under FI, we have general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, asset accounting, and integration of FI with MM and SD. And under controlling, we will be having cost element accounting, cost center accounting, COPA, PC, and so on. So learn about business process and how FICO module work in R3. See, here we are specifically discussing R3. Okay, that means there is some difference between R3, R2, R3, this way. So just now, as I told you, SAP B1. B1 is again different. Okay, so B1 is the application which small scale industries will be using, and R3 is the application where large scale industries will be using. Okay, so what is this R3? That we will be discussing in the coming slides. So apply implementation training. So apart from the course, I will be giving you some information related to the real time as well. Okay, so apply real time training with end-to-end implementation process. So these are the course objectives. So coming to the next slide, prerequisite. So actually, in order to learn this course, the participant has to have some basic background on IT as well as financial accounting. But I'll tell you, even the participants, we will come across so many participants who do not have basic background on financial accounting, who do not even know the very basics of financial accounting, like what is a debit, what is a credit, how a journal entry posting is being made. Okay, so no need to worry. In those cases, what we will be doing is, we will be taking a separate session for all the participants who are entirely from technical background. Okay, so we will be telling you all the basics of financial accounting, so that you will be able to ready. Yeah, some question. I see some question here. Okay, fine. Yeah. So the participants will be ready to take up this course. So we will be taking a separate session for them, for all the participants who are entirely from technical background, who do not know even the very basics of financial accounting. Okay, fine, Narendra. Yeah, so we are providing a separate session on the same before starting. I mean, this will happen before we start the regular sessions. Okay, before we start up with the day one session, we will be able to take up the session.
So Lavanya, how long will that session be, like the introduction session?
Around 1 hour or 2 hours. That is enough. That is more than enough.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It will be about 1 to 2 hours. That's it. Okay, so all the basics we will be covering in that session.
Sure.
Fine.
So can I ask you a quick question before we jump into the content?
Yes, please.
So I think everybody is moving towards S4, right? So do you think it's a better idea to learn first FICO or 3 or ECC, whatever it might be, and then go to S4? Or
exactly. That is what we are going to discuss now. See,
okay.
Who are supposed to take up this course? Professionals aspiring for a career in HANA. Okay, S4, as I told you, S4 means HANA. Okay, simple finance. Okay, so before learning simple finance, you have to learn FICO, because simple finance is nothing but an extension of R3. Okay, so in order to learn simple finance, one has to have knowledge on FICO. That is a must. Okay, in simple finance, you will be learning nothing but the extension of FICO. Okay, in place of the existing tables, these are the new tables that are present. Okay, in case of COPA, these are the new concepts that we will find in COPA. Similarly, in case of asset accounting. So you will be learning comparison, how it was there in R3 and how it is there in simple. That way you will.
The second one is going to be called as the public cloud. The private cloud is always called as the on-premise, and the public cloud.
Yes, Narendra? Understood? Okay, so let us see. Who should take up this course? So as I told you, the course is highly suitable for a broad range of professionals, either aspiring to or already are in the IT and finance domain. Okay, so like ABAP developers, people who are already working on SAP, like into testing or into ABAP technical consultants, or the people who are already MMSD and PS, other from other modules. So all these can learn. Okay. See, why it is important for an ABAP consultant or SAP tester? See, because if you see the example of SAP tester, they will be doing all the test scenarios, okay, in HPQC. So when they are executing any scenario, sometimes it becomes so important for them to understand the functionality. The tester might not be able to know the entire functionality. Okay, so one has to know the entire functionality of a particular business process. Suppose if the tester is working on F110 execution, okay, so he has to know the end-to-end execution of F110. Okay, so for testers, it will become very important for them to understand the business processes and functionalities. So similarly, in case of ABAP developers, so for their career development, they can go for this course. So ABAP means technical consultant. So they would want to move as techno-functional consultant. In those cases, they can learn this. And SAP R3 end users. See, consultant means, we are the persons who are consultants. And yes? Yes, please. Somebody is asking me? Okay, fine. So SAP R3 end users. End users means people who are directly working on SAP R3. That means who are making postings, transactions, who are posting the transactions. Okay, and B1 end users. SAP R3 and B1 end users. And BI and reporting professionals. Okay, so even BI, BW consultants can also go for this course. So project managers as well. Okay, see, project managers are the person who have rich experience in their field. But thing is, as and when they get into project management, they forget SAP. Okay, in order to learn the functionalities, they can go for this course. And other individuals like professionals who are in the field of accounting and finance. That means accountants. Okay, people who are who are working as accountants can also go for this course. Okay. Now let us see the next slide. Advantages. So advantages of this training. SAP FICO offers highly advanced means of financial transaction reporting and also better handling of accounts. Okay, so for better handling of accounts, we are going for this SAP FICO. Okay, so banks, tax authorities, managers, administrators, and stakeholders or stockholders. Okay, stakeholders or stockholders, both are the same. Utilize external reports generating with the help of SAP FICO. See, in FICO, as I already told you, we have both FI and CO. FI is meant for external reporting. Whatever reports that you are drawing from FI, that is meant to be shared with outsiders. So who are those outsiders? Nothing but the tax authorities, banks, stakeholders, government, and all this. Okay, so the reports that we are drawing from FI module, that means the cash flow statements, P&L statement, balance sheet, all this we can share with the outsiders. And the reports that we are drawing from controlling module, that is entirely meant for MIS. MIS means Management Information Systems. That means it is only for internal purpose. Controlling reports are only for internal purpose. And FI reports, you can share with outsiders. Okay. So to sum it up, SAP FI obtains data for external reporting procedures while its SAP controlling module lays stress on data for internal users. So as I told you, SAP FI externally, we are sharing, and SAP controlling, we are drawing MIS reports. That is only meant for internal purpose. Okay, so why it is meant only for internal purpose, that we will be discussing in the coming slide. So coming to the next slide, training benefits. So we are going to offer training with certification help. Okay, certification options to aid trainees we will be providing. And we offer 3 types of training here: ILLT, ILVT, and SPVT. ILLT is this one. You will see, now the demo is ILLT, instructor-led live training. That means a trainer is present in the session. Okay, and it is a live training. ILVT is instructor-led video training. So you will be provided with the videos of the training, and also whenever you have any questions or doubts, trainer will be there to help you out. Okay, you are supposed to communicate with the trainer in the blog. So how that blog looks like, I'm going to show you. Just give me a moment. So I'm going to show you how the blog looks like. So this is the block. I hope you are able to see. This is the R&T block. So this is where you are going to discuss with your trainer. If you have any questions, you can post your question here and I will be replying this way. Okay. So all the material which I am going to provide to all the participants, I will be attaching here itself. All the documentation, everything. Okay. So here I have provided all the case studies to them and some information I have provided related to certification. So all the information, I will be updating here itself. So, it is, here in this tab, discussion board, the participant will be able to communicate with me. Okay. So all this is the material that I have provided. Okay. Fine. So at the end of each session, I'm going to provide some assignments. Okay. So that you are supposed to complete before you attend the next session. So assignments and case studies will be provided to you and even the material. And this is video recording. So video recordings we will be able to provide, and these are here in this tab, video recordings tab. So you will be able to see all the recordings including the demo. All the recordings will be here. So you will be able to access for 6 months. And the meeting links for each and every session. These are the meeting links for each and every session. Okay. So if you see the course content, this is our course content. So let me show you in the Word document. The same I am showing you in a Word document. So this is going to be our course content. So we will be discussing introduction of SAP R3 landscape and transport request. And then the main thing is organization structure or enterprise structure. So here we will, this is the start of configuration. So in this we have 20 steps here, and then GL accounting, that means the GL module. So in GL module we will be covering all the related topics like GL master data and how to change it, how to block it, how to unblock it. To say the GL master data and the tables related to GL master data. And posting of a document, reports related to document, tables related to document, part documents, whole document, sample document. So all the topics, okay? The 5 types of reversals and 3 types of clearing, translation, interest calculation and revaluation. And then comes accounts payable. So all the related transactions like vendor account groups, vendor master data, tables related and reports related, and all the transactions of vendor like invoice, posting, credit memo, manual payment and automatic payment, and the down payment, partial payment, residual payment, and cash discounts, and APP as well. So all these very important topics like APP and EBS, we will be covering along with the real-time examples. So if you see APP, I'm going to cover with SEPA format. Okay, F110 I will be executing with different scenarios. At least 10 scenarios I will be giving, 10 real-time scenarios I will be giving. So how to create a DME file, which is very, very important from real-time perspective. And payment advice generation, payment summary generation, and the check payment method. So at least 15 transactions I'm going to show you with check. So intercompany transactions, both manual and automatic. Okay. So then comes accounts receivable. So here the related transactions like customer account groups, customer master data, related tables and reports, and other transactions like down payments, etc., and dunning, cash discounts to customer, and APP for customer as well. And then comes bank accounting. I'm going to cover EBS with MT940 format, auto logbox, and cash journal. See, auto logbox is very important for the participants who are working on US projects. Okay, so in US, we are mostly using AutoLab plans. 90% of the projects will be using AutoLab plans. And then comes data migration. So I'm going to cover for both master data and transaction data as well. How we are migrating master data and transaction data. So then comes asset accounting, all the configuration including the transactions. So here, we have included even the detailed topics like, asset mass changes and year-end activities, line item settlement. So all these topics we have included. Okay. So we would want to cover all the, topics related to the modules, like if we see bank accounting, EVS and auto loggers. These are very detailed topics. Okay. Even the intercompany transactions as well. Intercompany transactions. Then comes NewGL. In NewGL, we have parallel ledgers and document splitting, and FSV, financial statement version. So in controlling, we will be having cost element accounting, cost center accounting, how to post actuals, how to post plan values, and how to see the variances. Okay, so all this we will be covering. And period end activities like distribution, assessment, action, periodically posting, and internal orders, types of internal orders, how to do settlement on internal orders, and budgeting, and how to make actual postings, plan postings, and how to see the variances. Profit center accounting, profitability analysis, nothing but profile. Profitability analysis, nothing but profile. And report painter, product costing. So in product costing, we will be discussing till how to create the cost estimate with and without quantity structure. Then comes integration of FI with MM, and integration of FI with SD. So validations and substitutions and sales tax, IDOCs. So this is again another topic that we have added. So how to know the structure of IDOC, AL11 part, how to do testing and reprocessing of an IDOC, and the SAP methodology, and then real-time documentation. So all this we will be providing as a part of the course. So this is about the blog as well as the course content. So as I told you, 3 types of training we are offering. ILLT, which is nothing but instructor-led live training. ILVT is instructor-led video training. That means you will be provided with the videos, and whenever you have any question, you can communicate with me on the blog itself. And SPVT is self-paced video training. That means you will be provided with the videos of the sessions, and there is no instructor here. Okay. So as I told you, even if the participants are entirely from technical background, we will be able to take up a separate session for them on the basics of financial accounting. So all the enrolled participants will be receiving the study material, assessments, assignments, and at the end of course, we will be giving you the case studies, and also we will take mock interviews so that you will be ready to give the interviews. And all the enrolled participants will be able to access the training blog and even the recordings. Okay. Now coming to the next slide, introduction to ERP. So before discussing SAP, we are going to discuss what ERP is. Okay. So ERP stands for, the acronym ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Okay. So when we have so many accounting packages in the market, why we will have to go for ERP? What is the purpose of going for ERP? So ERP is a suite of integrated applications. So what is this integrated applications? Here we have 2 terms, integration and applications. See, if you see from a manufacturing concern perspective, we will be having so many departments. So what are those departments? We have production department, procurement department, and finance department, HR department, stores department, and so on. Okay. So all these departments are nothing but applications. When it comes to software language, it is called application. Okay. So applications are nothing but the departments only. So these applications are nothing but the modules themselves. Okay. So in ERP, there is integration between the applications. So what is integration again? This is interlinking. Okay. There is integration between the applications, interlinking between the applications. So when there is integration between the applications, we have something called data flow happening. Data is flowing from one module to the other, from one application to the other. So if you see here in SAP, we will be having data flow happening between modules like, from SAP MM to FI. MM means material management. It is an application. It is a module. From MM to FI, the data is flowing. From SD means sales and distribution to FI, data is flowing. From warehouse to FI, data is flowing. So that is how you can see the data is flowing between applications. So why there has to have data flow happening? So suppose if we take an example, so we are, FI consultants. Okay, so our main responsibilities would be like bank reconciliation, making payment to the vendors, etc. So if we would want to make a payment to the vendor, you will have to choose the invoice, okay, for which you would want to make the payment. So once you choose the invoice, you will have to make sure what is the status of that particular invoice. Suppose we have received some raw material against that invoice. So who is receiving the raw material directly? An accountant or FI person will not be receiving. Okay. Only the warehouse person or the stores person will be receiving the material, raw material. So as an accountant or as a FI person, you wouldn't be knowing the status of the raw material received, because once the raw material is received, it will be going through the cross check, quality check. So whether the material has passed quality check or not, we wouldn't be knowing. Only the stores person will know. Okay. So here, in order to know the status of the raw material received, you will be contacting the stores person or the warehouse person. So till the time you get information from the stores person, you will be, waiting. Your work is stopped over there. Your payment, that means whatever payment you are going to make to your vendor, that is stopped. Why? Because we are depending on warehouse person in order to know the status of the raw material received. Okay. So in order to avoid this dependency, we have the data flow. Okay. So in ERP, we can see the data flow happening between the modules. How data flow is happening? Because of the integration. Okay. So when there is data flow happening, you are supposed to create an object only once. So what is that object? Any data related object like transaction data or master data. Any transaction data or any master data you can create. You are supposed to create only once. That is called single time object creation. Single time object creation. So why we are supposed to create a data only once? Because there is data flow happening. Okay, I'll tell you one more example here. So MM consultant is creating some vendor master data. So why MM consultant will be creating vendor master data? Because he is supposed to procure some material from one of the vendors. So he has created the vendor master data. And as a FI person, you would want to make payment to the same vendor. In those cases, you need not create, an FI person need not create the same vendor master data again, which has been created by MM person. Why? Because whatever vendor master data that has been created by MM person, the FI person will be able to access. Okay, the data which has been created by some other person in some other module, the FI person will be able to access, and vice versa. Okay, so that is why any object, whether it could be a master data or transaction data, that can be created only once. That should be created only once. Single time object creation in ERP. Okay. So with the data flow, you will be able to see the status of the various business commitments. So here if you see in our example, the invoice is a commitment, the purchase order, sales order, invoices, all these are the commitments of the businesses. So you will be able to know the status of the business commitments without depending on any other person from any other department. So this is the purpose of preparing ERP over accounting packages. Able to understand everyone what is ERP and why we are preparing ERP? Okay, so we have a new participant, Ambuj. I did not see. Hi, Ambuj. Okay, fine. So clear, everyone? What is ERP? Fine. So now we are going to discuss SAP here. So SAP is an application started by a company called SAP AG. So SAP AG is a company which has started the application SAP. Okay. So here in SAP FICO, we have both FI and controlling. FI means financial accounting and CO means controlling. Okay. So SAP FICO is the important module of ERP. Both FI and controlling modules store the financial transaction data. Okay. So introduction to SAP. As I told you, SAP AG is the company which has started this application in the year 1972 in a city called Waldorf in Germany. So because it was originated in Germany, it will definitely have German name. So SAP is an acronym. So never say SAP, never say FICO again. Okay, it is SAP FICO. It is not SAP FICO. It is SAP FICO. So in English, SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. Okay. So as I told you, because SAP is ERP, we have single time object creation. In SAP, whatever data that you are creating should be created only once. Okay. The same data other modules can access. Now, coming to the next slide. SAP R3 here. So we have a new term, R3. So what is this R3? Let us see. So in R3, R stands for real-time data processing. In R3, R stands for real-time data processing. The latest version of R3 includes a comprehensive internet-enabled package. So what do you mean by this internet-enabled package? See, if you would want to work on any software, main thing is you will have to install it in your system. But that is not needed in case of SAP. Installation is optional in case of SAP. So you have two options here. Either you can install it or you can go for a internet-enabled package. Internet-enabled package means you will have to get internet connectivity, okay, and you will have to download logon pack. This is the logon pack. This is SAP logon pack. Once you download the logon pack, you can configure the server. So all these are the servers. Okay, you should configure the server. So once you configure the server, double click and you will be able to give the credentials here in order to log in. Okay, so this is the client number, this is the user ID, password, the credentials in order to log in. So here I have not installed the server. Okay, here in this case internet enabled server, I have not installed the software. Rather, I downloaded the logon pack and then I configured the server and I'm able to log in. So this is internet enabled package. In order to access this, you have to have internet connectivity. Now, SAP is a table-driven customization software. So we have, new terms here again, table-driven customization software. So let us see what this one is. Table-driven means So you would have come across a term called RDBMS. RDBMS. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. So we have examples of RDBMS like Oracle, 9i and 8i versions. 8i and 9i versions. So in any RDBMS, if you see, the data is stored in tables. Any data that you are creating in Oracle will be stored in tables. If you would want to create data, it will be updated in the tables. And if you are deleting data, it will be deleted from the tables. Okay. So whenever you are updating data, it will be updated in the tables. So for SAP R3, the backend database is Oracle. And Oracle, as I told you, it is RDBMS. So that is how SAP is also RDBMS. So whenever we are discussing R3 here, it does not mean that we are discussing S4 as such. For simple finance, the backend database is HANA. Okay, not Oracle. For R3, we have the backend database as Oracle. But for simple finance, it is HANA. Okay, so whenever we are discussing R3, it is not simple finance. Okay, so for R3, the backend database is Oracle, and Oracle is RDBMS. That is how SAP is also RDBMS. In SAP, whatever data that we are creating, that we are deleting, will be updated in the tables. Okay, so as a SAP FICO consultant, you have to remember so many table names. Okay, so all those table names I will be telling you in the coming sessions. So this is about table driven. Customization software. What do you mean by the term customization? Customization means you are changing according to the needs of customer. Okay, so the same is applicable here as well in case of SAP. In SAP, if you are getting any requirement from your client or end user, you are supposed to provide, or you are supposed to give standard solution. Okay, by default you are supposed to provide a standard solution. If that standard solution is not meeting the requirement of your client, only then go for customization. Why? Because customization involves lot of time and cost. So because it involves lot of time and cost, by default provide the standard solution. If that is not meeting the requirement of your client, only then go for customization. So here again, as I told you, we are making changes in the software. So in those cases like customization, we need the help of technical consultant, ABAP consultants. Okay. Yeah, so that is about table-driven customization software. As I told you, in order to reduce the cost, you will have to go for standard solution. If standard solution is not meeting the requirement of your client, then you can go for customization. Okay. So any questions so far? Yes, Liberty, Ambush, Narendra, Sala and Shrinkala. Any questions so far? Yes, Shrinkala.
No, I'm good actually.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, thank you.
So now introduction to SAP ERP packages. So if you see, so many other ERP packages are also there in the market, like Oracle Financials, BAN, JD Edwards, etc. But companies who have already implemented other ERP packages, okay, are now going for SAP. Why? Because SAP tops the list due to the customization. Okay, it is due to this, mainly due to this reason, that companies are preferring SAP over other ERP packages. Okay, so companies who have already implemented Oracle Financials and JD Edwards, etc. are now going for SAP. Okay, due to the fact that SAP tops the list due to customization. You can easily customize in case of SAP, unlike other ERP packages. Now, releases. Releases are nothing but the different versions. Okay. So currently we are discussing this version, EHP. EHP stands for Enhancement Package. Okay. So for practice purpose, you will be provided with an IDES. So that will be ECC EHP. EHP 6 or 7 you will be provided. So in case of ECC, you will be getting less number of errors, and in case of EHP, you will be getting more errors when compared to ECC. But those errors can be debugged. Okay, we will be able to get rid of those errors in EHP. So from ECC 6 onwards, we have a new concept called New GL. New GL has been implemented from ECC 6 onwards, which we will be discussing. It is there as a part of the course. Now coming to the next slide. Architecture. See, SAP in R3, as I told you, 3 stands for 3-tier architecture. Okay, so those 3 tiers are the 3 layers: presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. These are the 3 layers present in the architecture. Presentation layer means whatever SAP screen that you see on your monitor. SAP screen that you see on your monitor. That is called the presentation layer. So this is also called GUI, Graphical User Interface. Presentation layer is also called GUI. Application layer is where it processes the data between presentation layer and database layer. Okay, it is processing data between database layer and presentation layer. And the last is database layer, wherein all the data is being stored here. Okay, as I told you, Oracle is the backend database, which is an RDBMS. So this is the backend database. So all these 3 layers constitute the architecture. Okay, so that is why it is called R3. 3 means the 3-tier architecture, the 3-layered architecture. Okay. Now coming to the next slide, landscape. Very, very important. It becomes important for the consultants, SAP consultants, to understand the landscape. So this is the very basic landscape that you can see here. So here we see the development system, quality system, and the production system. So let us see development system. Development system, the name itself is saying you are doing development here in development system. So what is this development? This development, either the technical consultant or functional consultant or both. Okay, so functional consultants, technical consultants are doing the development. So whatever development done by functional consultant, who are functional consultants here? FICO is a functional consultant, MM, SD, HR, PM, QM, all these are functional consultants. Technical consultant means a backup. Okay, so whatever development that a functional consultant is doing, that is called configuration, okay, or customization. So if you are proposing any customized solution, that is called customization. Otherwise it is a configuration. And whatever development that a technical person is doing, that is called the development itself. There is no specific one. Okay, so in development system we are doing development. We means functional consultants as well as technical consultants are doing the development. So the functional consultant, whatever development is being done by functional consultant, that is called either configuration or customization. And whatever development that the technical person is doing, that is called the development itself. So once you do all the development, you are supposed to save or store all the development changes in an object called TR. TR stands for transport request. So once we do all the development, we are supposed to save all the development in an object called transport request. Okay, and this transport request you are supposed to move to the next higher systems. What are the next higher systems? Nothing but quality and production. So once you do development, you are supposed to save all the development changes here itself in development system in an object called TR. TR stands for transport request. So once you store all the development changes in transport request, you are supposed to move that TR to next higher systems. Okay, so before moving the TR to next higher system, make sure that you are doing some testing. So both functional consultants and technical consultants are doing testing here. The testing performed in development system is called unit testing. And whatever testing is being done by functional consultant, that is called FUT, functional unit testing. Okay, FUT means functional unit testing. And whatever testing which is being done by technical person is called TUT, technical unit testing. Okay, so after these two are successful, you can move the TR to next higher system called quality system. Okay. So in quality system again, please remember, development is done only in development system. In quality and production, there is no development. We are moving the development from development system to quality. How it is being moved? TR. TR is the object that we are moving, wherein it has all the development changes in it. Now, once we move the TR to quality system, you will be able to see that all the development changes are reflected in quality system. Okay, so once you move the TR successfully to quality system, all the development changes you will be able to see in quality system. So once you see all the development changes in quality, you are supposed to do testing again. So that testing performed in quality system is called IT. IT stands for integration testing. IT means integration testing, which is done in quality system. So this integration testing is very vast, very extensive, and we will be considering so many scenarios. UT means unit testing. Unit testing is for our reference. Okay, that means it is not extensive. We will not be taking into consideration so many scenarios. Okay, it is for only our reference. Okay, but IT is very vast. So we will be taking so many scenarios because whenever IT is completed successfully, you are supposed to document it. You are supposed to document the results of IT, and that document is called a test script. That document is called a test script. Okay, so in this test script, you will be able to see all the, we will have to prepare it. Okay, so you will be able to see all the scenarios that we have done. So this document, once it is prepared, it has to be shared with the end users. It has to be shared with the end users. So end users will be going through test script and they will be doing testing from their end. That is called UAT. UAT stands for user acceptance test. UAT stands for user acceptance test. So once their UAT is successfully completed, they will be documenting it again. Okay. So once their UAT is successful, they will be giving you some approval. That is called UAT sign-off. UAT sign-off indicates that you can move the TR to next higher system called production system. Once they are giving UAT sign-off, it means that they are providing approval to move the TR to production system. So once you get UAT sign-off, you can move the TRs to production system. Okay, so when you move the TR to production system, then the production system is said to be gone live. So as a part of our course, we will be providing you all the documentation like FUT documentation, IT documentation, called test script, UAT. All this we will be providing. So this is about the landscape. But as I told you, this is a basic landscape. It does not mean that each and every project will be having the same landscape. It is not that at all. This is a basic one. In some very big projects, we will be able to see another system between quality and production. That is called maintenance system. Okay. So it always depends upon project to project. But this is a basic one. Okay. If you understand the basic, you will be able to understand any complex landscape. Okay, so this is about development, quality and production. Any questions so far, anyone? Okay, so fine. Now let us see the transport request. Let us see the structure, modification, statuses, types and movement of a TR. Let me show you how a TR looks like. So I'm logging in SAP. So, this is what you see once you log in SAP, SAP Easy Access Screen. SAP Easy Access Screen is the screen which is being accessed by end users. End users will be usually using this screen in order to post their day-to-day transactions and in order to draw the reports. Okay. Even consultants will also be provided with Easy Access Screen, but we will be having limited access in production system. In production system, actually, we are not supposed to log in. Even if we log in, we will not be provided with the full access to Easy Access Screen. Okay. Now I'm going to TR. So this is the transaction where we display the TR, SC10. Here you can see, right, SC10. So here we have two types of TR. Workbench TR and customizing TR. Workbench TR means any cross-client related changes. Example, workbench. Any cross-client related changes like DME, COPA and IBAN. So these are the three cases in FICO wherein you will be coming across workbench TR. So these are cross-client changes. DME, COPA and IBAN are cross-client changes. So all the cross-client changes will be asking for a workbench TR. And customizing TR means all the other changes apart from cross-client. Okay. Any other changes will be asking for customizing TR. Cross-client changes, workbench, and any other change will be asking for customizing TR. So it is the system which is deciding the TR. It is not the consultant who is supposed to decide whether it has to take a workbench or customize it. No, not at all. It is the system which is deciding what TR it has to take. Okay. So these are the two types of TR, workbench TR and customizing TR. So if you further see, these are the two types of TR, workbench and customizing. So let us open the TR. So we have two types of TR, modifiable and released. Under customizing or workbench again, we will be having two statuses of the TR, modifiable and released. Once you create a TR and once you save all the development changes to a TR, it is in modifiable status. Okay, modifiable status means, see, I have created a TR and the TR looks like this. All these are the TRs, different TRs. Okay, so if you further click here, this is the main TR and this is the child TR. Child TR is also called a task. Child TR is also called a task. So it is in the task that you will be able to see the data in it. So these are the entries and these are the tables. So as I told you, in SAP, all the data will be stored in tables. So these are the different tables which is storing different data. So it is under the task you will be able to see what are the entries created and what are the tables it is storing. Okay. So after the entire development is over, after I move all my development changes in a TR, I later realized that some entry I have wrongly created. In those cases, I can very much modify the TR provided the TR is in modifiable status. Okay, modifiable status means I have not released the TR yet. So then I can modify the TR. Okay, so just in those cases what you will have to do is go to the task, double click. This pencil button is meant for changing or updating. Click it. Now you will be able to see the fields in white color. Still double click. So here you will be able to change. Suppose here it is BEV1. In place of this, I can give any other value. Okay, this is how I'm changing the entry. So you can do these changes provided your TR is in modifiable status. Okay, so once the TR is released status, how can you know that that particular TR is released? With this, with the tick mark. Tick mark indicates that TR has been released. A released TR can never be modified. Now, question is, why we have to release? We will have to release the TR in order to move it to next tier system. For moving the TR to next tier system, we are releasing it. And once it is released, you cannot modify it. Okay, so only the released TRs can be moved to the next tier system. So we have seen the structure of a TR. Structure of a TR is nothing but the parent TR or the main TR and the child TR or task put together. These two put together is called the structure of TR. The main TR as well as task. So we have seen the structure, modification, statuses, types. Movement of a TR. See, this movement of a TR can be done automatically or manually. Okay. So if it is manually, then you will have to log in the next tier system and go to transaction code SCC1. Okay, so give the source client number here and the TR number, any TR that you would want to move, and then say start immediately. You will be able to move the TR to next tier system. Okay, so this is about the basics of the TR. Now next is ASAP methodology. See, ASAP methodology is one of the methodologies followed in implementation. Okay, we basically have two methodologies, ASAP methodology and Agile methodology. Okay, so in demo we will be discussing ASAP methodology. So if you see here, ASAP stands for Accelerated SAP. ASAP stands for Accelerated methodology. So here in ASAP methodology, we will be having 5 phases: project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, and go live. All these are the 5 phases. Now, what do you mean by project preparation? In this phase, the project manager will be working, okay, and he will be planning all the goals and objectives, scope of the implementation, and he will be drawing the budget plan, and he will be recruiting the manpower resources. Okay, so this is about project plan. Next comes a business blueprint. In business blueprint phase, the on-site team, okay, in the implementation partner company, they will be having two teams, on-site team and offshore team. On-site team goes to the client place and offshore team will be working at the company only. So on-site team will be handling many discussions with the end users and SMEs, subject matter experts. And after discussions, they will be preparing some document called BBP, Business Blueprint. So what do you mean by this BBP? BBP is a combination of as is and to be. I will be showing you one BBP. So suppose if you see, this is one of the BBPs. So as I told you, it is a combination of as is and to be. So here you will be writing how a particular business process has been implemented in the already existing accounting package or already existing ERP package. As is means how a particular business process has already been implemented. To be means how the same process has to be implemented in SAP. Okay, so in a tabular format you will be writing here. On the left hand side as is and on the right hand side to be. So any process, if you are not able to implement in SAP, you will be writing it as a gap. So you will be creating the gap here if you are not able to implement a particular business process. Okay, so I will be sharing at least 4 to 5 BBP documents with you. So this is about business blueprint. It is a combination of as is and to be. Next comes realization phase. Realization means you are doing the configuration. You have started configuration and this configuration is based on the BBP document. And next is final preparation. Final preparation means all the configuration is over and you will be doing the testing. So testing will be done in the test system, nothing but quality system. So both functional consultants and technical functional consultants as well as the end users will be doing the testing here. So even the end users will also be doing testing in the final preparation phase. Okay, so you are supposed to provide the training to them. Okay, most of the end users are not aware of SAP. So in those cases, you will have to train them. You will have to prepare the manuals, the user manuals, and you will have to train them. Okay, if any cutover activities are involved, activities are, you are supposed to decide. Okay, so basing upon the business process, you will have to perform the cutover activities. Okay, if you are working on tax related business process, in those cases, the creation of tax codes will be a cutover activity. So these cutover activities will be performed in production system. Okay, so it is also done in final preparation phase only. And even the data migration. Data migration means from the legacy system to SAP system, you are moving the transaction data as well as master data. Okay, so last phase is go live. Go live means all the TRs are moved to production system and the production system is set to be there. Okay, that means production system is ready for use. So all these are the phases in SAP methodology. Any questions here so far? Anyone? Okay, fine. Now let us move to the next slide. Organization structure. So this is very important. See, in this organization structure or enterprise structure, both are the same. Organization structure or enterprise structure, both are the same. So if you see this part in the organization structure, this is created by FI person. I'll tell you, FI module is the very first module to be implemented in any SAP project. You can see SAP projects without MM, without SD, without HR, QM, PM. But there is no SAP project without FI. In FI CO again, FI is a mandatory module and CO is an optional module. CO will be implemented based on the requirement. But FI should be implemented. Okay, you cannot move ahead without implementing FI. In FI, the FI person will be creating an organization unit called company code. Here you can see. Okay, which is a mandatory organization unit. Without having company code, there is no point in accounting at all. Okay, you are doing all the I mean to say you are drawing all the reports at company code level. Company code is the legal entity which is created by FI person. So on the left hand side, whatever you are able to see, purchasing group, purchasing organization plan, all these are created by person. And this part is created by SD person. That means you will be having so many functional consultants in the organization structure creation. But main thing is FI person comes into picture first. Okay, so once company code is created, all the objects can be created. So next slide, levels of data creation. So levels of data creation, it becomes very important to understand, because if you are working on a project, whether it is support project or implementation project, whatever it is, if you know the level of data creation, then if you would want to take any approval, see, once you get any requirement, it is not that we are supposed to do that, work on that requirement straight away. It is not that. You will have to identify the requirement and then take the proper approvals. You will have to take the proper approvals. So from which person I will have to take approval? I will only know once I understand the level of data creation. Okay, so if a particular object is at operating concern level or controlling area level or country level, chart of accounts level, then I will have to contact the process owners. Okay, if it is at company code level, then I will have to contact the end users. Okay, so that way it would be. Okay, if you know the level of data creation, you will be able to know which person you can contact for approval purpose. So which is at what level, I will be telling you in the coming sessions. Okay, so suppose if you take a house bank, okay, bank master data is created. So at what level it is? I will just show you an example. So let me show you one example. See, I would want to create house bank. House bank transaction code is FI12. House bank transaction code is FI12. So I opened up FI12. So what is the system asking? It is asking for company code. So that means house bank creation is at company code level. Okay. And now let me see another one. Let us see another one. So let us see country level. See, country. Bank key creation, I'm going to create bank key. So this bank key is created at country level. So on the screen itself, you will be able to know which object is created at what level. Okay. So this is about level of data creation. So next is benefits of SAP FICO. So far any questions, anyone? Sala, Shrinkala, Narendra, Ambuj and Liberty. Okay. So these are the few of the benefits of SAP FICO, that it enables smooth financial accounting and controlling functions and provides quick and reliable data, and it also helps user to track and monitor different cost and profit centers, etc. Okay. So certification, informational certification. So two types of certification are there. Entry level certification and lateral level certification. Lateral means experienced person. Okay. So both entry level and lateral level. Even in entry level and lateral level also, again two types are there. FI certification and controlling certification. Okay. So in both the certifications, you will be able to see multiple choice questions, and the duration is 180 minutes. Okay. Number of questions will be 80 in case of FI. So even in controlling also it is FI. It is 80 minutes only. So duration is 180. But passing mark here is 60%. Okay. So responsibilities of a consultant, FICO consultant. See, the responsibilities of any FICO depends upon FICO consultant depends upon the project he is working in. Okay. So if he is a part of implementation project, then he has to be a part of either on-site team or offshore team. On-site team means he has to go to the client place and he has to handle many discussions with the SMEs and end users. And he should be part of preparing the BBP document. Okay. And if he is a part of offshore team, then he should be at company place and he should be doing the configuration based on the BBP document. Otherwise, if he is a part of support project, then he has to handle the tickets. Okay, tickets are the issues or whenever the end users are coming across any errors while reporting or while posting any transactions, they will be creating one ticket over the ticketing tool. Okay, so based on the ticketing, based on the service level agreement. In support projects, you will be able to see the service level agreement, SLA. SLA means service level agreement. So based on SLA, the consultants are supposed to solve the tickets based on the priority. Okay, so the responsibilities of any FICO consultant depends upon the project facing. Okay. So let me show you one project plan. So this is one of the project plans. Okay. So this way, we will be providing all the real-time documentation to you. See, just now I have shown you ASAP methodology, right? In ASAP methodology, we have seen 5 phases: project preparation, business blueprint, realization, okay, final preparation, and goal. So under project preparation again, we will be having these many: project kickoff, finalize, communication. So how many days it will be taking? See, this is the project plan. The project manager has planned. Okay, this way. So the entire project is these many days, start date and finish date. Okay, so each phase is taking these many days. So that way we will be planning. Okay, so all this real-time documentation we will be providing you as a partner. So let us come back. So, assignments I will be providing at the end of each session. So that assignment you are supposed to complete before the start next session. Some of the assignments here again. So this is a format, where you will come across in the examination, the certification. Okay. And let us see some generic information. So modules covered in SAP. I have already shown you the course content. Okay. So all these are the modules. So SAP FICO, Finance and Controlling, I have already shown you the course content. So if you see all the other modules like SD, MM, PM, QM. So as I told you, FI is the very first module that we will be seeing in the implementation. Okay, FI is the mandatory module. It is called the centric module. Okay, and FI is a mandatory. CO will be implemented based on the requirement. If if a company would want to have control over the cost, then they have to go for controlling. Otherwise, it is not required. Okay, and as I told you, FI means whatever reports. So whatever reports that we are drawing in FI, we can share with the outsiders. And CO will be entirely for internal or management. Okay. So career path, if you see, any FICO consultant will be joining as an associate consultant, and then he becomes senior associate, then consultant, then senior consultant, and so on. But with Zarantech training, you can start anywhere between here and here. Okay, between consultant and senior consultant. You can either join as a consultant or senior consultant. Consultant means 4 to 5 years of experience, and senior consultant means 7 years of experience. Okay, you need not start your career from here. Okay, either at this level or this level you can start with Zarantech training. So these are the salary trends. So always salary depends upon country to country and company to company as well. So top reasons why companies implement SAP. These are few of the reasons. As I told you, it enables smooth FICO functions and provides quick and reliable data. Okay. So as I told you, we will be covering the real-time scenarios on important topics like APP and EDS. And real-time documents will be provided like BBP document, HLD, estimate, FSD. FSD means functional specifications. Okay, all the functional consultants are supposed to, prepare this document in the implementation or enhancements. Okay, functional specification document and the test script UAT. So all these are the documentation that we will be providing. And for each and every topic that we are covering in the sessions, for that reference material will be provided which can use for certification purpose as well. Okay, and all the assignments will be provided. And after the training is completed, we will be helping you in resume preparation and we will be taking mock interviews as well. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, anyone? Yeah, so Ambuj is asking, years of experience refers to experience. Yeah, actually, Ambuj, relevant experience means experience on SAP. It is relevant experience. Okay. Total means including business experience as well. Any questions, Narendra?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
The first thing is like the problem is I know all these terms like company codes, controlling areas, and all those things.
Exactly.
But I can't really relate to the actual financial terms. I don't have any experience with any financial accounting. In real world, like forget about SAP or anything. Real world financial accounting has the same terminology we have, like controlling area, company codes, and segments and profit centers. Huh?
Exactly. Yes. In real time.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I will be helping you to get used with the terminology.
Okay. So do we have chart of accounts too in the financial accounting? Same terms, right? So SAP doesn't have any new terminology in there.
Same only.
Okay. So do you I do have access to the learning hub from SAP. Do you recommend any book kind of thing like Indian author or something, or any like document code in the learning hub?
Yes.
So maybe I'll get prepared for the next class if you can tell me a book number or something.
No, I mean you need not go through any book now. So once we start off configuration, I will be telling you.
Okay, and not for the actual configuration, just like general accounting basics.
Okay, only for basics. Okay, fine.
Yeah, just basics.
So for basics here itself, I have provided accounting coach. Okay.
Guide.
So for all the basics of accounting, you can go through this website, accountingcoach.com.
Oh, it's a website. No,
yeah, exactly. You will have all the basics related to financial accounting.
Coachingguide.com.
Accountingcoach.com.
Okay, accountingcoach.com. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I hope everyone is clear. So let me show you this. If you need any information related to the upcoming batches, you can contact the support team. Okay. So you can contact here. Fine. So if you do not have any questions, we can close the session now. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Fine. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lavanya.
Thank you. Bye.